everybody, this is Ernie. I still love America. Unfortunately, right now we're still being run by a pack of idiots in D.C., but you know who those 3 or 5 or 10 people are. But today I have a question. When will all this Muslim Islamic ass kissing end? Hardworking American taxpayers are being molested by the TSA at nearly every airport in the country. But the Council on American Islamic Relations, also known as CAIR, which is also a front for Hamas, one of the biggest terrorist organizations in the world. Anyway, Hamas, CAIR, has called the searches invasive and humiliating. Really? I'll be damned. CAIR is also advising Muslim women to refuse these searches. Well, if you're an American woman and you refuse that search, you will be taken into custody. And I say this to a Muslim woman: if you don't want to be searched, take a damn cab. Get yourself a handful of train. But your butt ain't getting on this plane if you don't get searched. That's just the way I would put it. Of course, that's logic. And in this country, there isn't a hell of a lot of that around anymore. Islamic women are no better than American women. And I, for one, am getting pretty damn sick of all this political correct crap. Now, one of the great leaders of the free world, Janet Napolitano, doesn't she make you feel safe? Is considering waiving the pat down for Islamic women. Are you kidding me? The brave Janet, the laughable Janet, is once again following the progressive political correct BS of the great and glorious Obama administration, and they continue weakening our country by these pro-Muslim acts and showing fear to the worst vermin, the terrorists, that the world has ever known, possibly even worse than Adolf himself. The Muslim world is laughing at us at our weakness. And they're doing this on an hourly basis. Every show that comes on a news program makes us look stupid to the Muslims. We find a terrorist guilty of one count for murdering over 250 people. That's the justice system. Our magnificent justice system, run by Eric Holder, of course, along with Barry Obama. These people are eroding our justice system as well as our freedoms and replacing our rights with rights to Muslims and Islam. Question: how many terrorists have been stopped by the TSA? Any answers? I've got one for you. None. Have you ever heard of an Israeli airplane being hijacked? No. Ever wonder why? It's because, and it's very simple, they profile. Example, if there's a little gray-haired lady with her menorah getting onto the airplane, they look at her, they check the menorah, they check her passport, and she gets to take her seat. On the other hand, if a nervous, sweaty, little greasy Somali attempts to board with a giant backpack, guess what? He's pulled out of the boarding line, taken to a room, and checked out. I hope checked out roughly. Another question for you. How many Irish Americans were responsible for 9/11? How many Swedes? How many Italians, Mexicans, Australians, or Portuguese? None. Only Saudis and creepy little Muslim types like Saudis and Iranians and that ilk. All right? So let me ask you this. America, we must tell our government, and tell them now, we will no longer take a back seat to anyone in this country. And I mean no one at all. This is our country. Our forefathers settled and founded this land, and we are not going to give it away to anyone who would force us Americans to give up our land, our rights, or our self-determination, and especially our religious rights. So socialists, progressive, Marxists, communists, and just plain old American haters, your time is getting short. And I mean really short. We Americans have come back to life, and that crap will hit the fan soon. Very soon. I would suggest that you get your resumes in order. We are back, and we will kick your butts to the curb. We, the American people, are taking charge, and your politically correct crap is not going to ruin this country. And hey, Muslim ladies, get used to having your face on a driver's license, or walk, and get used to being groped right along with the rest of us. And if you get groped and your husband has to kill you, you better talk to him. And you can take your Sharia law and you can stuff it where the sun doesn't shine. We're not buying it here. We are free in this country, and here you can't beat your wife. By the way, where the hell is NOW, the National Organization of Women? I thought these broads stood up for women's rights. Haven't heard much from these mindless girls. They must be working on the rights of female boxers or maybe female pedophiles. Anyway, America, stand up, get busy, make some noise, or all our women will be wearing burqas. And believe me, my wife is not going to buy that very easily. And don't forget, we will all have to pray 5 times a day with our butts in the air. And I can't imagine many of us wanting to do that. So as I sign off, say a prayer for all of our servicemen and women. They're out there protecting our butts, and believe it or not, some of you who don't believe it, they are protecting this country and keeping the fight where they are instead of the streets of LA, Denver, and New York. So pray for them to keep them safe. Ask God to watch over them. And remember, we've got to keep this country strong. It's our country. We founded it. We've grown with it. And ain't nobody going to take it away from us. So God bless each and every one of you. God bless the United States of America. And I will see you next time. Thank you.